This video is sponsored by Card Kingdom. You can visit their store by using my referral link in the description below. Hello everyone, time for another draft video for Xia All Will Be One. This is another recorded draft video. I've had a hard time, life has been hectic and I've had a hard time just like sitting down and doing an entire draft all at once like I would normally do on stream. So, just like the last draft video, this one is going to be sort of divided up between a couple of days. Hopefully we don't have any issues with Arena going down that delay the video, like happened with one of the ones last week. But yeah, I'll see you guys when the first pack opens. Okay, well, it's probably Koth. He's incredibly strong. You know, this is a card I've talked about a lot and played with a lot. You know, I didn't think it was... I thought it was going to be a good card, but not really something you want to first pick that much, just because I thought its reliance on mountains was too much. But it turns out he's got so much loyalty for the cost, and his ability raises his loyalty right away, and he can make sure you get enough mountains for his -3 to be good. He's not quite a bomb, I don't think, mostly because there are a lot of board states where, you know, he sort of helps your situation, but he's not going to turn it around for you, and like a bomb would. So, but we do still take him. You know, he's a great card. Better, I think, than every rare and uncommon, or not rare, but uncommon and common in the set. It's certainly true about this pack. I mean, Swooping Lookout has been quite good. Charge of the Mites is nice, but this is a pretty weak pack overall. Ruthless Predation, I guess, probably what we would take second, but we will take Koth. You know, if we could find a way to be mono red, that would be cool. We do get past a Volt Charge, and I'm probably just supposed to take it. You know, it's a great card in the format. It is funny. A lot of people thought Hexgold Slash or Volt Charge would be better than Hexgold Slash, but it just hasn't been. Most, you know, that's the one red mana, do 2 to something, and it does 4 if that creature has Toxic. That card has been even better, but Volt Charge is really good. I mean, you get some value out of the Proliferate most of the time, and it's just a good removal spell to begin with. This pack does have a Skull Dweller and Edifice, which are pretty good. Rot Priest also quite good. You know, you kind of need it for black-green to really do its thing, but if you have it, it tends to be, especially if you have multiples, that deck can be quite strong, but we'll take a Volt Charge. You know, I would probably take it there anyway, even if I hadn't just taken a Koth. And here we get Hexgold Slash, card I was just talking about. Certainly the best card in this pack, so I don't hate that we've, you know, managed to stay, you know, only committed to one color and taken 3 cards that are all cards I would be reasonably happy to first pick. So, you know, Stinging Hive Master's pretty nice. Blight Belly Rat's nice, but just pretty weak pack in general. Okay, now we get a Furnace Strider. You know, we're starting to, like, this would be sort of a bottom of the barrel first pick, I think. But it's pretty strong. I mean, you know, it's a strong card. I'm happy to take it here. 5 mana, 4/5 with haste, with the upside of giving other things haste, potentially, is effectively what it is. Sprinter has been disappointing, and Nahiri's Sacrifice has been predictably bad. You know, a couple of decent black cards here, decent green card, but again, I think this is the best card in the pack anyway, so. Okay, so here we have an interesting choice. There's a bunch of stuff here that I like, including a red card in Exuberant Fuseling. It is a really good 1-drop, you know, gets bigger, comes with oil counters already on it. There's also a Predation, which is a nice removal spell. Flensing Raptor, which is good in like green, white, black, white. And Swooping Lookout, which is good in all the decks, but really good in blue, white. I'd probably just take another red card, honestly. I think the Fuseling is good enough to pick up there. All right, here we have 0 red cards, so we'll finally take something that isn't red. I think Thrumming Bird has a pretty high ceiling. You know, when you can really get it going. Infectious Inquiry is okay. I really don't like ending up in black-red, though. Like, it's okay. It's a decent deck, but you kind of need... It's another one where you need the Signpost, so we don't have it. Annihilating Glare can be nice if you have the right stuff to sacrifice, but it's not great. It's probably Thrumming Bird or Inquiry. Obviously, the Thrumming Bird's nice with our Koth and our Fuseling and our Furnace Strider. I think I'll take the Thrumming Bird. I like blue-red more than black-red. Okay, so here we have an Engraver, which is good. But I do think Basilica Shepherd is enough better that I'm going to take it. I think it's better than, you know, Axiom Engraver is a solid red card, but I think Basilica Shepherd is significantly better than it, so we're going to take a white card there. Okay, so probably the best card here is the Atrocity. You know, I don't hate it in red-green. Obviously, I'd rather have Furnace Striders, but it's okay. I could also take the Furnace. I do like having one of these in most decks, but I think we'll take the Atrocity. So here's another Lookout around this late, which is pretty interesting to me. I'd probably grab it. I think Volshock Splitter's good, but I think Lookout's better. Like, if we're red-white aggro, I'll be pretty happy with that. And if we're red-white, I think the Lightbringer is going to end up being decent. We don't have any equipment right now, but that is kind of the theme. More so than anything else. So we'll grab another Lightbringer here. So we do want to value equipment a bit now. Feels like red-white's where we're headed. Yeah, the Justicure, I mean, it's best in blue-white, but, you know, you often end up with enough artifacts in red-white for it to be fine. It's not, you know, it's like maybe the most important common for your deck if you're in blue-white. If you're in red-white, it's just sort of an average card, but, you know, an average card that late in the pack is pretty good. So, I feel like overall things went pretty well. We were able to stay fairly red, although I guess after those first 4 picks, we only took one more red card. So, that's interesting. But, you know, we'll be red enough to play Koth. You know, usually, I mean, like, in an ideal world, you probably have a 10 mountains with Koth, but it's hard to actually pull that off in limited. All right, some interesting stuff here. We got Drown in Ichor, which is a great removal spell. Charforger, which is the black-red signpost I was talking about that you kind of need to make the deck work. And then we've also got Contagious Vorak, which is great. Unfortunately, when it comes to red and white cards in this pack, they're not amazing. I mean, I like Crescendo as a trick. But, you know, I don't really want to take a Justicure here in this particular deck. Like, if it wheels, I might take it. Drown in Ichor is really good removal. We do have 2 good removal spells already, and that's not bad, 1 pack in. So maybe I'm just supposed to take the red card in Crescendo, which is certainly a trick that carries its weight, gives you a 2-for-1 a lot. But I just feel like these 2 cards and the Vorak are so much better. I'm going to grab Charforger, I think. Yeah, I mean, we might pick up Fixing to splash it, and I don't feel like I'm giving up that much. All right, so I think we probably take Crawling Chorus. Again, you know, this is a card that's better in, like, Infect decks, but, you know, a 1-drop that makes a 1/1 when it dies is really good in any aggro deck, so I'm pretty happy to take it here. Well, so there's a Miglos, which is super strong. We do have 1 green card. You know, we have a lot of white cards at this point, so it's hard to imagine a world where we end up playing Miglos. You know, Volshock Splitter is probably, like, the safe pick here. But this is another situation where I'm not giving up that much. Like, the Splitter's fine. You know, Sinew Dancer's good in black-white and green-white, not really good in our deck. So I don't regret not picking it. So I think we're just going to take another really good gold card and see if we pick up Fixing, or I guess we could even pivot. This pack kind of makes me want to, because now we have Ruthless Predation. The white cards are underwhelming. Free from Flesh is a good trick. I'm probably supposed to take it, so I will. But that pack was a little tempting. But yeah, Fixing is something we want to keep our eyes on with Miglos and Charforger in the mix. The thing that's kind of weird about both of them, especially Miglos, is ideally you want to play it early, and obviously it doesn't lend itself to that effectively. Gold Warden's Helm's okay in this deck. I think it's probably what we take. This pack has a bunch of mediocre things in it for basically everybody, which is sad to say about a Signpost uncommon, but it's true. All right, so we'll take another Crawling Chorus here. More equipment would be good when you got 2 Lightbringers, and we're bound to pick up 1 or 2 other equipment payoffs. It's usually, you know, red-white strength is, you know, not really its synergy most of the time. So interesting pick here. We've got a Splitter, which is a card, you know, it's fine. It's solid. Our deck has some synergy for it between liking artifacts or Justiciar and liking equipment with our Lightbringers. We've also got Terramorphic Expanse, which could help us play something like Miglos. And Indoctrination Attendant's not bad either. I like it in pretty much any deck. In this deck, you can use it to rebuy equipment, which is cool. I think I'm going to take the Expanse, because if I can get enough fixing to splash these, I think we'll be really happy. Interesting. So another Volt Charge, but there's also an Aspirant. We're not doing so well on equipment right now that I love the Aspirant. I do like Hazardous Blast. You know, having one of these in most red decks is good, but I think we're probably just supposed to take Volt Charge. All right, so how many artifacts do we have right now? We just have 3. We do have a few cards that make them, like the Shepherd. So Justiciar is not amazing, and it's not like we have a ton of tricks that I really want to play at this point. So I think we will take a Crescendo now. All right, we'll grab a Skull Bomb. All right, so here we get a Splitter. Take that. Resistance Reunited. It's an okay trick. You know, even in I haven't been that impressed with it, though. Even in the equipment decks, like, I'd rather have Free from Flesh. So here's a Rebel Salvo. Great removal. Also an equipment payoff, though that part is almost secondary. Pack also has Barbed Batter Fist and Volt Charge, both of which are really strong. And we do need... We could use some more low drops, I guess. We're not doing horrible on them, but not amazing either. There's a Prophetic Prism if we're going to try and go hard on splashing something like Miglos. I'm probably supposed to take the Salvo, though. Yeah, I mean, it's really good removal, even if you don't have equipment. And when you do have equipment, it can get absurd. All right, we'll grab a Duelist. You know, 1/1 Double Strike is really good. Yeah, our deck has some random poison stuff going on, and that happens. Ooh, here we go. So here's our Signpost, which is amazing. Reduces all our equip costs, makes a 3-mana 2/2 a Double Strike effectively. I would like Planar Disruption, but Bladehold War Whip is better. Same thing for Terramorphic Expanse. Now we want to value equipment just a little bit more. Right now, I mean, I don't see myself splashing Charforger. I think splashing Miglos is a possibility. So another Jawbone Duelist, but there's also some equipment. But I think you got to take the Duelist. It's just too good. You know, left unchecked, it causes all kinds of problems. It's great when we equip it. I would love if Batter Fist would wheel, but it's hard to pass a Duelist. Even once I have a War Whip, I think it's hard to pass a Duelist. It's just a really great 2-drop. Even in decks that don't care about Toxic at all. The Toxic upside, I mean, it matters a little bit. Sometimes you can, you know, make your opponent worry about getting poisoned out. Okay, so don't really want Rebuke or Magmatic Sprinter. Charge of the Mites is solid. It's either Charge or Hazardous Blast. I think we want Charge a little more. Let's take Hazardous Blast. You just find so many situations where it's like, well, if I draw a Hazardous Blast, I can do lethal. And, you know, that's a lot of boards in this format. Take another look out. Am I going to get any more equipment, or has that ship sailed? Complete Devotion doesn't look terrible for us. Got 2 Duelists, 2 Choruses. I think that's it, but, you know, the upside of draw a card on those things is pretty good, and these things are kind of clunky. Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to get more equipment, which, you know, would be my own fault because I passed some. Grab an Indoctrination Attendant. Here's a Shrapnel Slinger. That's fine. I don't hate the Mycosynth Gardens. I don't think we really have enough good artifacts for me to be pumped about it. You know, we do have a few, but I think just a 2-drop is better. How much equipment did we actually end up with in this thing? 3? Could be worse, but, you know, I probably would have liked 5-ish. And I don't think we're going to get it. I think I'm just going to grab the rare for gems, because neither of these is going to make the cut. So, may as well see if we can get to 4 of those. Skywarden's not a bad pickup there. I mean, it's not equipment, but, if, you know, it is a very real creature. And we didn't end up with that much, you know, on the top end. Just a... You know, we only had 2 5-drops, and I think having 3 is perfectly reasonable in this format. Yeah, I mean, our deck's going to be solid. We have a nice aggressive curve, a couple more equipments, you know. Taking a couple of those Batter Fists would have looked better, maybe. Though I think most of the time we had something really good we took over it. It was never like something mediocre, obviously, because it's a good 2-drop in every red deck, and our deck cares about it extra. So, okay. So probably only want like 2 tricks, so probably paring down on one of these. And I feel like Complete Devotion might be the one. You know, we don't have that many ways to use oil counters, I guess, now that I think about it. Costing 1 is nice, but not being able to get extra value out of the oil certainly matters. And yeah, so I think that's the cut. And then we run Complete Devotion and Crescendo. Having a couple of double strikers makes Crescendo all the more attractive. Fuseling, yeah, I mean, we've got lots of nice low curve aggressive creatures. I don't think we can really cut any of them. We're sitting at 7 artifacts, so the Justiciar could get cut. I don't think we play Miglos. Our fixing's just not good enough. So that's a pretty easy cut, unfortunately. So Indoctrination Attendant, we can't do that much cool stuff with it. You know, bringing back one of the Formiridan cards is kind of the thing, and we only have 3 of them. So probably cut it in this deck. This does make an artifact. I wonder whether I want 2 Lightbringers with only 3 equipment. I mean, probably. It's not amazing, but it seems fine. I think we want all of those. Yeah, so Justiciar is probably where we go next. I wonder whether we don't even want Complete Devotion. I mean, we have 4 really good targets for it, and everything else is kind of mediocre. We do have these Mites, I guess, but yeah, we could probably cut Complete Devotion. There's a question of whether we could get away with 16 lands. We do have 3 5s and, you know, an expensive equip cost. But I think maybe we can do it. We have a lot of 3s, too, and not as many. I mean, we do have 5 1-drop creatures, which is nice, and then 4 2s. Normally, Gold Warden's Helm is probably where I would go here. Like, it's the worst card in our deck, but, you know, it sounds like I should cut it. But in a world where I have the 2 Lightbringers and War Whip, I think it does enough to stay in the deck, just barely. Though, I guess maybe I could be convinced it should be cut. You know, the bonus it gives is so minimal. How many artifacts would that leave us with? It would leave us with 6, so it's almost like I may as well just cut the Justiciar first, because at least the Helm has synergy, so yeah. Alright, I think we do need 17 lands. You know, we're going to have 8 mountains, which is not the ideal for Koth, but with an expanse, it's sort of like 9. And I do think that's the right number. Our opponent's name is Unbanned Grave Troll. I guess they like playing Dredge. Not a great hand. Not having any, you know, thing that we can do early unless we draw a mountain is bad. I think we probably mulligan that. This hand is definitely better. What do I want to put back? It's either Slinger or Crescendo. I do have Duelist, but I mean, it could be Volshock Splitter too, I guess. Yeah. Let's go with the Splitter. We kind of need to stick an early creature to get full value out of Crescendo anyway, so we will grab a Plains with this, obviously. See if our Jawbone Duelist lives. Would have been kind of funny if our opponent was playing, like, black-green. Like a graveyard deck or something with their name. Gonna get some poison on him. I'll play the Slinger just to play out a 2-drop. Obviously, it's not destroying an artifact. Okay. Well, you know, a win's a win. Obviously, our opponent had mana problems and was going to get quickly poisoned to death. That's the kind of upside you have on that 2-drop, I guess, is if your opponent doesn't have removal and can't block it, it does end the game quickly. Which is true of most creatures, I guess, but it can end the game even more quickly, or at least make it feel unwinnable. Little did they know that we didn't have a third land and may not have been able to play anything that turn. So, you know. But hey. Exuberant Fuseling to start things off. Oh, good. Crawling Chorus does line up pretty well on the Fuseling. Lines up well on the Branch Blight Stalker, too. Ooh, so does that. Let's just keep drawing, like, amazingly. Do I attack with my Chorus? I don't hate it. I think we do. Then we'll play the Duelist. We're not going to have great blocks here, but I guess we'll see. Oh, well, that's not good. We can Volt Charge it after it removes its counters, but one of its counter removing abilities... Wait, what am I talking about? That's not how that works. It's a 4/4. So that's bad. We could take it down by blocking it and using Volt Charge, but then they can remove counters and stuff. So, yeah. The really powerful card we elected not to splash. Mostly because, you know, we didn't have that good of fixing, and playing it on turn 3 is where it's really abusive. I mean, it's always really good, but right now is where it's like, wow, I'm probably dead. I guess I'm going to play out another body rather than leave Volt Charge up. Oh, good. Get some more counters on things. And they want to land more. Makes sense. Okay. Splitter would be nice. Let's just play another Lightbringer. I guess they would blow up our Splitter, although they do have to remove 3 counters. Yeah, I was thinking when it lost counters it got smaller, but it's not one of those. Oh, here's a Hazardous Blast. 4, 7, 10. I mean, yeah, it's pretty good there. Kills 2 creatures. You know, it's often better to wait until you can do lethal, but because it also killed 2 of my creatures, I didn't really need to wait. Man, they killed our Double Striker. Otherwise, we would have had a bit of a puncher's chance here. To just, like, punch through with Blazing Crescendo. But that is not what we have right now. So we're just going to pass. So it can buff itself to a 6, yeah. Okay, so let's block both of these things. If they try to use a trick, at least we have Volt Charge. Yeah, they're not going to. Which is definitely worse, but... Yeah, I mean, I don't know what... I guess keeping them alive gives us a little better of a chance than we would otherwise have, but... Not by enough. Yeah, I think we're dead. We will kill this Fuseling here. We can also kill the Dune Mover. So that's a thing, but... Make us feel a little better here late. To wipe out a couple of their creatures, but... It is not going to be enough. Because they can just kill us with Meaglows. Yep. Couple of quick games to start things off. That one not quite as quick as the first one, but from the minute they played Miglos, it did feel kind of unwinnable. We basically needed to draw a Rebel Salvo to have a chance, and we didn't. All right, pretty good. Obviously, you know, having an untapped mountain on turn 1 would be better. We'd have a chance to try to draw one, but it's still a pretty good hand. Drawing a mountain would make it amazing, and we do it. How about that? Blue-black, usually when you end up against that, it means your opponent actually has the juice to, you know, proliferate a bunch. You know, when that deck comes together, it's really good. I think we attack here. If they block, we can use Crescendo to kill this. It means I don't add to the board this turn, but I feel like the trade-off is pretty good. We even do 1 damage. They might just take it, in which case we do add to the board and, you know, feel fine about our situation as well. So, we can play turn 4 Koth. This turn, probably grab a mountain to make, you know, in case we need to use his -3 right away, as good as possible. So now, unfortunately, they have mana up, so trying to attack into them with Blazing Crescendo is a lot less good. Go ahead and do this. I think I'm probably just going to play Swooping Lookout and pass. Leave up Hexgold Slash. They're almost guaranteed to have some form of interaction here that would have utterly blown us out if we tried to do Blazing Crescendo, so bounce spell, kill spell, you know, many commons and uncommons would have blown us out. It looks like they're about to do the thing that they... Now they just get a 1-for-1 instead of really destroying us. Should probably... I think I would kill the Duelist if I were them, but I also don't know what their plan is. I guess with a 1-3 in play, they're kind of like, eh, not that worried. Yeah, Malcator is good. Only 1 black mana up does mean I'm going to be able to attack this time. Though, just with Jawbone Duelist, basically. There is 1 card that blows us out, but when it's only 1 card, I feel a little less bad about the situation. Yeah, so I think we'll attack with the Duelist. Hope they don't have that 1 card. Whispers of the Dross is the one I'm talking about. Play Koth, grab a mountain is plan B. Okay, so let us... We could also just use Hexgold Slash. Is that going to be better? Probably not. I mean, most of the cards we hit with Crescendo, we do have 3 5s that I guess if we hit one of them, we can't play next turn. But if they let this first strike damage through, I also get blown out a lot less by something. So let's do the first strike damage first. Well, I guess if I'm going to use Crescendo, we don't want to do it that way. Yeah, let's just use the Crescendo. Maybe we hit something else we can play. Whispers of the Dross, I think they have it. Shoot. I don't think it's a particularly good card, frankly, but it does get us here. The win rate on 17 lands isn't good either, so there's some data to back that up. But we are in really bad shape now. You know, a card overall not being a great one, you know, to play in a format doesn't mean it never does a thing. Certainly did there. So, you know, just passing and playing Koth was the far safer play. They still would have killed something. But yeah. Starting out far behind the 8-ball here now. Especially once they do that. Kind of need to draw a mountain. And I mean, even if we do, like, I have to kill Icarus Synthesizer. So, it's not like... You know, and then Koth dies, so it's not amazing, but it's something. Okay, this is going to be a roundabout way of doing things, but I'm going to cast Hazardous Blast, which will kill Malcator, and then use Hex Gold Slash to finish off the Synthesizer. And if they're out of juice, we could turn this around. Looks like they have something. No, they don't. Okay. Koth. It's up to you now. Probably get countered. No? That's good. So they can attack him down to 3, but then he can kill the golem. So it's not a terrible sequence. You can also just attack us, which is not a terrible plan, given that we're at 10. Okay, or they could do that, which is very effective. Alright, we do get a Volt Charge. Guess we're going to try to cast it. Let's see what happens there. It does happen. Add some counters to our permanents that are shut down. And play a Gold Warden's Helm. Look out, though. Our permanents have counters on them. I don't have any way to remove this in our main deck. Right? Right. Would be nice. This is where Indoctrination Attendant would be sweet, I guess. Oh, good. The Immobilizer. Which, you know, if I were them, I wouldn't really use it to stop the 2-3 because they're at so much life that it's and I'm at so little that just waiting until they can use it to push damage through is probably better. Don't play the big flyer with power equal to the number of artifacts you control. They have their own Indoctrination Attendant. Returning Prism's pretty sweet. Okay, so play Lightbringer, which at least makes their lives a little harder, thanks to Ward. Move the equipment because it'll make the Lightbringer significantly larger. Actually, something they kind of have to tap down. And pass the turn. Bummer that they shut down Koth, because I think he was on the verge of turning this around for us, but alas. It is hilarious that, you know, they don't know that we don't have an enchantment removal spell, and if we had one, we could use his ultimate. But we don't, so. So yeah, now they can use the Immobilizer, pay 2, attack us for 5? No? What? Oh, they wanted to cast Atraxa. Like, why, you know, yeah. Alright, they got us. If you're gonna cast, you know, have Atraxa in your deck, why would you do something like tap things down and attack for lethal? I guess they didn't quite have lethal, but still probably the right play. Okay. It's a pretty good hand. We've had a few of those, though, and they've all sort of gone up in smoke, so... yeah. I think, you know, a few more equipment in this deck would have been a lot better. We haven't seen our War Whip at all, which, you know, that's definitely going to improve things for us if we do see it. Start swinging with our lookout. Black, blue again. And yep, Thrumming Bird. Luckily, the lookout lines up quite well against that. And right now, they also don't have anything that I'm worried about them proliferating, so I'm not sure I would block anyway. So next, I could play Lightbringer this turn, then next turn, play this and move the equipment. That does seem pretty good. Makes it a 4/4, so likely has a nice attack. Yeah, I probably don't block if Thrumming Bird attacks me here. Kind of don't think it will. Alright, they left mana up. Never loved that, but I think we go with our original plan, which is try to play Gold Warden's Helm. We do not want to tap our mana like that, though. Play Gold Warden's Helm. Do they counter it? Looks like the answer is no. What? Oh, I was thinking the equip cost was less. I'm thinking of the other card. I'm playing so well. All right, well, we're going to attack anyway. I would not have played that in my first main phase if I didn't realize I couldn't move it. I guess they're going to kill our Lightbringer here. Tapping the lookout now is interesting, but I guess they knew I wouldn't attack, and they wanted to make the trade. Oh boy. Okay.
So this is my opponent.
Not really ideal, but Hazardous Blast may allow us to kill him. Yeah, it will.
Let's clean up this mess.
We don't even need a Hazardous Blast. Oh, wait. Yeah, we do.
Stay alert. Something's up.
Yeah. Get a Planeswalker with that. Get a Planeswalker with that. What is optimal? I guess Salvo only costs 2, but it's also gonna be able to kill... Yeah, I mean, I think we play Hazardous Blast here. Kill the Thrumming Bird, attack Kaito, and attack them for 1 in the air. Yeah. Seems pretty good. It's a 2-for-1 after all, effectively. I mean, it's not quite, because we had to also attack Kaito, but... dealing with Kaito is crucial. A couple of Death Touchers. This one drains us for 2 when it leaves the battlefield as well. Gonna Rumble. Alright, so let's play the Fuseling here. And go to combat. I think we just attack with the Mirrodin token here. Decent chance they trade the Skull Dweller. Yeah. If they try to use a trick, we do have things we can do. We don't need to, though. Yeah, okay. Another Whisper of the Dross. That one not quite as devastating as the last one, especially because we have a Jawbone Duelist in our hand. That would have been much worse for them to use that on. I like our chances with 2 removal spells in our hand. Chances are pretty good our 2 cards are better than their 2 cards, although they also have another removal spell. Alright. Well, may as well make this a 1-3. May have to cast removal on the 2/2 at some point. But I'm not there yet. I think we're both blanking on our draws here, and may both be holding on to removal spells that we don't really want to use on these mediocre creatures. Theirs is more than mediocre, really, but... we're going to kill that with Volt Charge. Koth would be a pretty good draw on this board because we just play it, kill that, and start ticking him up. Cruel Grimnarch would be annoying here, but at least I could kill the 2/2 in response. So... oh, I thought they were going to use a trick. I was going to say, at some point we will have to kill the thing because... oh my god. Luckily we can kill it, but then we won't have removal for this. They might have a spell in their hand to make it indestructible, but they don't have the counters in play to make it indestructible. That much I know. Yeah. Please don't give me another land. They're like frustrated we killed Tekuthal, but like... come on. Do you know how many lands we've drawn? I mean, I think you've drawn a lot too, but I think we've drawn more. And at some point, probably... I don't have to block it yet, but... interesting. Ooh. That is a good draw when they just played Phyrexian Arena. So if they can't do anything about this... yeah, we can pay for the bad mana leak right now. So yeah. Play Furnace Strider... there is another counterspell that would work. Attack them for 5. They're going to go to 5. They do draw an extra card. I'm guessing they're going to stop attacking now. That bodes well for us. Ooh, Hexgold Slash. Okay. So, let's try to kill the token that does drain 2, but then I can attack with both of these without concerns, pretty much. Yeah, they go up to 7, and we go down to 5. Then we attack them for 5. So they go down to 5 and draw an extra card. Jump blocking there makes a lot of sense, not only because it would have put them at much lower life, but because drawing extra cards means they have a good shot at drawing something that will keep them from dying, basically. And they do. All right, so here's another attack that they... can't just take, although they can block with Malcator's Watcher and then go to 4. Oh no, they have they don't have removal. Interesting. They can't give flying at instant speed, so I'm not sure why they did that. I think they thought they could give this flying and double block this, but they can't. That means they're dead to their arena. Yeah, they made a mistake. All right. We got a second win, and really our first legitimate one, because our other one was an angry opponent scooping. So day 2 of recording this draft. Last time I recorded one like this, day 2 went really well, so we'll see. Day 1 wasn't so good, and it wasn't. 2 and 2. But day 2, yeah, it's a pretty good hand. I mean... you know, we have more mana, but having Koth in our hand and a decent curve out is pretty hard to be upset about. So we could blow up Prosthetic Injector. It's not a terrible plan, because I could play this, sack it, blow that up, and make this a 2-1 trample and attack them. But I don't know why they just said good game. but I'm trying to decide if it's worth doing or if I should just play out my Slinger. Then we leave up Volt Charge mana next turn for whatever they try to put it on. Yeah, let's just attack them. I don't think I'm going to blow it up. You know, it can end up being a problem because it raises toughness. But chances are good they won't be able to, like, play and equip something here. And if they do, it's still going to have low enough toughness. Yeah, like that. Yeah. So, no white mana, but we do get to go... Oh, never mind. So, I guess we're only attacking with... Yeah, it raised the toughness too much. Forgot that was a 1-2. Even though we have one in our deck. Okay. Well, we'll attack with Shrapnel Slinger. They are not going to block, so I guess we're going to kill it next turn with Koth. It's probably our game plan. Okay, so... I guess we're going to Volt Charge Flensing Raptor and then kill the Lookout with Koth. Yeah, so let's Volt Charge Flensing Raptor. Oh. We don't have to use Koth now, but I think getting him on board and starting him on that train is pretty good, so... Now good game makes a little more sense. Oh, they're going to kill the Fuseling. Hey, white mana. Also going to search up a mountain.
We have the high ground.
So... I mean, I think I'm willing to trade Shrapnel Slinger, if that's what they're going to let me do. Then we play Bladehold War Whip, leave up Hexgold Slash. You know, whatever they put this on is going to die easier. So, to the Slash, that is. So the question is whether I want to use it in response or to wait, because it's going to have 4 toughness. Let's see what they attack, I guess, because if they attack me, I don't think I care. They do not. So we'll block. See what happens. I hope they try to use a trick and we blow them out. Yep, that's what we get. Okay. Again, good game makes more sense now. They want me to say it, I guess? I don't know. So, let's attack them for 6. Play a Jawbone Duelist. Now they're just being rude. Yep. All right. We got there. Koth did his thing. That's, you know, if we if Koth does his thing, we're going to do pretty well. So I don't have anything early, but at least we're on the play. So not having a 1 or 2 drop isn't a complete disaster, I don't think. I would like one. At least they didn't play 1 drop. That softens the blow a lot. Do I try and block a Dune mover here against Black-White, which is probably trying to get corrupted? They may not give me the option. They do not. So we'll take 2. Okay, so the only thing we can do is cast removal. And I think doing it now is fine because if I wait, they could have, mana untapped to do something. I mean, yeah, no, we'll just go ahead and kill it. They didn't put a land on top, which probably means I have enough lands. I'd like to draw a land here. Okay, I can live with it. Hey, land. So we're probably going to get hit by this thing here, but that's okay. We'll play our splitter. Rebel Salvo's down to 1 red, which is always nice. Yeah, I mean, if they equip this, it means I don't have much, to add to the board, probably, because, that's 3 mana you just spent. So, we're about to be poisoned out. Not lose, but they're going to have Corrupted going. But I think that's kind of okay with me. I'm just going to play Furnace Strider and Rumble here. I mean, if we can get in for 8 here, we're not that far from Hazardous Blast doing its thing. They could have removal, but... let's see. Yeah, they got something. Interesting. Oh, this is going to be gross, I bet. They're going to do that, and then they're going to get... we'll be poisoned enough here that they can use the Anoint removal spell. Or maybe not. Okay, well, I like it. So Double Strike, obviously, is pretty spicy if they keep attacking us. Rebel Salvo for 1 is pretty great. Oh, see you later, Furnace Strider. Kapow. So, yeah, let's just try to kill Vivisection Evangelist. And then move this over. Attack them for 8. That feels pretty good, right? So Hazardous Blast plus Volt Charge. What do they have in their hand? Nothing too scary. So yeah, we just win off Hazardous Blast. Nice. So yeah, day 2's going much better than day 1 did. Well, I guess we can say that, yeah. I went 2-2 the first day I was recording this draft. I guess no matter what, we can't do worse because we'll go 2-1 at worst, because we can only lose one more time. But we are now at a winning record, which is always nice. Okay, looks pretty good. See if this gets hex gold slashed. They're red-green. I'm probably supposed to just kill this thing. Although we could probably wait. Especially if I can wait until they don't have mana up. Because they could have a few, like the 1 red mana, +2/+2, and 2 oil counters. Like if they use that in response, it's a pretty big beating. Because not only does it survive, but then they have the mana to... yeah, they have the oil counters to make mana this turn, to untap a land, more specifically. Interesting. So, the lack of mana is once again a problem here. I don't think we can really afford to try to Hex Gold slash this thing and then attack. Maybe we can. They have to use a card. They're going to be able to ramp now anyway, so let's just go for it. It's unfortunate we don't have more mana, but what are you going to do? Yeah, so they do save it. But it's a 1-for-1, so I'm not too broken up about it. Hopefully we draw a 3rd land at some point. They have 5 mana, so they could play the 4/5 haste here or something. That's always the scary thing these decks can do. Okay. This is where a lot of people would be like, the shuffler is rigged. Not a lot of people, but an unfortunate number. It's like, how does that make any sense? Someone always benefits if the shuffler is actually rigged. In this case, my opponent is benefiting, so it doesn't make sense that they would... Anyway, I talk about it all the time because it's like one of my least favorite things that people discuss in Magic is the quote-unquote rigged shuffler. This is not good. They're probably ramping into something nice, and they are. Can we hit a 3rd land? No. See, this can happen in paper just as easily, folks. It's just variance. It's part of the game. You know, and then there are people who say resource cards like lands are awful in card games, but I kind of like them, you know? You don't want to be like Yu-Gi-Oh! Where... I mean, maybe you do, but where there's not really anything that sort of ramps you slowly and gradually makes the game accelerate, you know? You just can, like, go off on turn 1 all the time. I mean, you can do that in some formats in Magic, I guess, but there are formats where mana is ridiculous. I don't think we're going to win this one. I do think we're going to block. Not much to gain by not blocking there. Boy. We do get another Crawling Chorus, which is kind of funny, but we are... not in good shape. It is a bummer, you know, when variance makes you lose, it's a bummer, but it's part of what makes games interesting, too. I think it's actually a strength, you know, and I think that, unfortunately, that's become like a hot take that resource cards are a good thing, but there you have it. I mean, you could do the Hearthstone or, like, Marvel Snap thing, too, where you just get whatever the resource is slowly, and it gradually ramps up. And that is a better solution than how Yu-Gi-Oh! Works. But not having the deck-building requirements. And, you know, the non-basic lands are interesting. Like, there's a lot of really good things about it. Yeah, there are downsides, but I think the good outweigh the bad. My God. We did draw a third land, but I think it's probably a little too late. Guess we'll see. They have 2 Bladehold War Whips in play, really? Really? Here's ours. That's been in our hands since the game started. Yeah, so that's 8, 11. Yeah, so we're dead. You know, like I said, you don't get to play Magic sometimes because of resource cards. But increased variance also makes games more interesting in some ways. And having to configure your deck correctly is, you know, to maximize the chances of the resource cards working out for you is part of the game. All right, so that'll do it for this one. We went 4-3 in the end, and I'll see you all in the next one.